I have been watching General Hospital every single day for more than 45 years now, and let me tell you, the way the writers are weaving this hit and run storyline around Jordan and Curtis has me feeling that familiar rush of excitement I first felt back in the 1980s when the show was full of shocking revelations and unbreakable family bonds. At my age, I have seen so many characters come and go, so many scandals erupt and then fade, yet this particular arc feels fresh and deeply personal, like the show is adjusting its course in exactly the right way to keep longtime viewers like me completely captivated. I remember when Jordan first arrived in Port Charles, that strong, determined woman who fought for justice no matter the cost. And to see her lying in a hospital bed after being struck by a car that simply sped away into the night still breaks my heart. Curtis, too, has been through so much already, and this accident has left the whole town reeling. But what truly has me on the edge of my seat these days is the growing realization that Tracy and her granddaughter, Brooklyn, are about to uncover the real driver behind that terrible night, and it is not at all who many of us first suspected. For weeks now, the rumors and clues had pointed fingers at Brooklyn or even Isaiah Gannon. And I will admit, I spent more than one sleepless night wondering if sweet Brooklyn could possibly have been behind the wheel in a moment of distraction. She has grown so much over the years, from that fiery young singer to a devoted mother and businesswoman, yet the show has always given her layers of vulnerability that make her feel real. I kept asking myself, could it really be her? Would the writers go down that painful road again with the Quartermaine family? But no, this new adjustment in the story has taken a completely different turn, one that feels more layered and satisfying than anything I could have imagined. Tracy, that indomitable force of nature who has protected her family with every ounce of her sharp wit and steel resolve for decades, is about to step forward in a way that proves once again why she remains one of the most compelling characters on daytime television. She and Brooklyn are piecing together the evidence, connecting the dots that lead straight to Pascal, the loyal but tormented butler in Sidwell's household. Pascal has been quietly simmering in the background for months, grieving the loss of Marco Rios in that heartbreaking way that only a man who truly loves someone can understand. We saw him that night at the bar, drowning his sorrows in alcohol and lashing out at Lucas Jones with words that revealed just how broken he was inside. He was not the one who caused the initial collision, but he was the one who chose to drive away afterward, leaving Jordan and Curtis lying there in the darkness. That decision, born from panic, grief, and too much whiskey, has now become the spark that could ignite an entirely new explosion in Port Charles. I truly believe this twist is one of the smartest adjustments the show has made lately because it ties together so many threads we have been following. Sidwell's growing influence, the pain of loss, the dangers of drunk driving, and the unbreakable loyalty within the Quartermaine clan. Tracy is not one to sit idly by while her granddaughter is under suspicion. She has always been fiercely protective, and now she is preparing to accuse Pascal directly, laying out the facts in that no-nonsense way of hers that has intimidated everyone from Edward to half the town council over the years. She will do it to shield Brooklyn, to clear her name once and for all, and to make sure justice is served for Jordan, who has always been a friend to the family in her own quiet way. Yet here is where the story takes that deliciously dangerous turn that keeps me coming back episode after episode. Pascal is not going to simply accept the accusation and fade into the shadows. Oh no, this man is already carrying the weight of his grief, his secret service to Sidwell, and the fear of what might happen if his actions are exposed. He is acting purely out of self-preservation now, and that is creating a whole new set of troubles that are escalating faster than anyone could have predicted. I can almost feel the tension building on screen as Pascal realizes Tracy and Brooklyn have connected him to the accident. His obsession with protecting Sidwell's secrets, combined with his own desperate need to stay out of prison or worse, is turning him into a far more unpredictable threat than we ever saw coming. This is not the quiet, grieving servant we met earlier. This is a man pushed to the edge. And the show is brilliantly showing us how grief mixed with fear can create something truly volatile. Pascal's troubles are multiplying by the day, his attempts to control the situation only making everything spiral further out of hand, and that sense of rising chaos has me glued to every new development. What really has my heart racing is the looming confrontation itself. Pascal is going to lash out, and it will not be a simple argument or a quiet warning. He is going to attack Tracy and Brooklyn in a moment of pure desperation, and that single act is going to unleash a brand new disaster right in the heart of Port Charles. I have seen Tracy survive worse over the years, from kidnappings to corporate takeovers, but watching her face off against a man who has nothing left to lose is going to be unforgettable. Brooklyn, for her part, has come so far in learning to stand up for herself and her family, and this moment will test her in ways we have not seen before. The beauty of this adjustment is how it honors the long history of these characters while pushing them into uncharted territory. Tracy's decision to accuse Pascal is not just about clearing Brooklyn's name, it is about standing up for what is right, even when it puts her own life at risk. And Pascal's violent response proves that the consequences of that one fateful night on the road are far from over. They are only just beginning to ripple outward, touching Sidwell's empire, the police department, and everyone who has ever crossed paths with these families. I keep wondering as I sit in my favorite chair each afternoon waiting for the next episode, how this will all play out. Will Tracy's accusation force Sidwell to choose sides and perhaps even turn on his own loyal servant? Will Jordan finally get the answer she deserves about that terrifying night? And most importantly, will the Quartermaines emerge stronger? Or will Pascal's attack create wounds that take months to heal? I believe deep down that this storyline is heading toward one of those classic General Hospital moments where justice triumphs, but not before we are put through the emotional ringer. The show has always excelled at showing us that even the most flawed characters can find redemption or, in Pascal's case, face the full weight of their choices. His escalating troubles and that new obsession with covering his tracks feel so authentic, so human, that I cannot help but feel a pang of sympathy even while rooting for Tracy and Brooklyn to come out safely on the other side. After all these decades of watching, I have learned that the best arcs are the ones that blend high-stakes danger with heartfelt family loyalty, and this one delivers both in spades. Tracy protecting her granddaughter the way she once protected her own children reminds me why I fell in love with this show in the first place. The air in Port Charles feels charged right now, full of unspoken threats and impending revelations, and I find myself smiling at the thought of how much more excitement is waiting just around the corner. Pascal's attack will not be the end of the story. It will be the beginning of something even bigger, perhaps drawing in other familiar faces and forcing alliances we never saw coming. The writers are giving us exactly what we longtime fans crave. Characters we know and love, facing real peril, making difficult choices, and fighting for the people who matter most. This new chapter proves once again that General Hospital still knows how to surprise us while staying true to its roots. The heat is building steadily, the dangers are real, and the emotional payoff when Tracy and Brooklyn confront Pascal is going to be worth every minute of anticipation. I cannot wait to see how the town reacts when the truth finally comes out, how Jordan's recovery ties into the larger picture, and whether Pascal's desperate actions will ultimately destroy him or force him to seek some kind of redemption. Whatever happens, I know one thing for certain after 45 years of devotion. The show that has kept me company through good times and bad is delivering the kind of compelling, heartfelt drama that makes every single day feel special. Port Charles is alive with possibility right now, and I plan to keep watching faithfully, cherishing every clue, every confrontation, and every quiet moment of family strength, because stories like this are why I have never missed an episode and never will. The best is truly yet to come, my friends, and I am counting the hours until the next twist lands squarely in the middle of our beloved town. Curtis has already been through more than any man should endure, and now he and Laura are actively targeting Pascal, determined to make him pay for fleeing the scene that terrible night and leaving Jordan injured on the road. Laura's fierce loyalty to her friend Jordan, combined with Curtis's burning need for justice, makes their pursuit feel so real and righteous. I keep thinking how satisfying it would be to see them finally get the answers they deserve after everything they have suffered. But here is where the writers have delivered one of those brilliant new adjustments that suddenly make everything explode in the most thrilling way. While Curtis and Laura close in on Pascal, it turns out he is not facing them alone. He is receiving powerful protection from Sidwell and Cullum, two of the most dangerous figures currently pulling strings in town. This unexpected shield creates an entirely fresh set of difficulties that no one could have predicted just a few weeks ago. Pascal, already burdened by grief over Marco and his own drunken mistake, now has these influential allies standing between him and justice. Sidwell and Cullum clearly see value in keeping him safe, perhaps because he knows too many of their secrets, or because his exposure could unravel their larger plans. That protection is turning what might have been a straightforward quest for revenge into a high-stakes battle that reaches far beyond one accident. This latest change in the storyline feels like pure General Hospital magic to me. It takes the personal pain of Curtis and Laura, mixes it with the ongoing suspicions around Tracy and Brooklyn, and then layers in the shadowy influence of Sidwell and Cullum to create an explosion of new conflicts that touch nearly every corner of Port Charles. I find myself asking how long Pascal can hide behind that protection before the pressure becomes too much. Will Curtis and Laura find a way to break through, or will Sidwell and Cullum's involvement spark even bigger confrontations that pull in the police department, the Quartermains, and perhaps even Anna when she returns? The tension is building so beautifully, and every new clue or whispered conversation on screen leaves me breathless with anticipation. After all these decades, I still love how the show honors the history of its characters while introducing fresh complications that keep the story feeling alive and urgent. Curtis and Laura's determination gives me hope that justice will prevail, even as Pascal's powerful backers create roadblocks that make the path much harder. The air in Port Charles feels electric right now, full of hidden alliances and impending revelations that promise to shake up everything we thought we knew. This adjustment is raising the stakes in such a satisfying way, blending heartfelt revenge with dangerous power plays that remind me why I have never missed an episode in 45 years. I cannot wait to see how it all unfolds, because when longtime fans like me sense this kind of momentum, we know some truly unforgettable moments are just around the corner. The heat is rising, the dangers feel real, and the best part of the story is still waiting to explode onto our screens. I am counting the hours until the next twist lands, and I know it will be worth every minute of the wait.